Welcome back to Good Teams Win, Great Teams Cover. Just me and Byron today with our NFL Week 4 review. And what a action-packed week it was, highlighted by some great games that we'll talk about in detail. We've also got our spotlight games, our weekly overreaction, fourfold and ATS Picks review, and Fantasy Gameday winning lineup, plus a look ahead to Thursday night football. Byron, how are you? Just me and you today, but how was your week 4 in the NFL? A bit later for us than usual as well. We know we'll have an episode out by now, but a little bit slack this week.
Yeah, well, we've got every game to recap then, because we've got Monday Night Football, which we don't normally get to until the Power Ranking show, if we get an extra one in. But yeah, fun weekend of football. Had a better weekend of it than Tyreek Hill, certainly, so take that as a win. Yeah, how was your weekend?
Yeah, you were calling for Tyreek for the NFL to do something and maybe have Tyreek miss a few games. Maybe they did.
Karma plays in mysterious ways sometimes, yeah.
Absolutely. But yeah, I had a different weekend, slightly different NFL Sunday for me. I was in Stockholm, Sweden. So yeah, not in Dublin for the Dublin game, but yeah, a little trip to Sweden, which was awesome. Shout out Pictures Sports Bar in Stockholm. It was real tough to get anywhere to watch the NFL games.
Yeah.
I think it's because the NFL is on DAZN in Sweden and not many pubs and sports bars have it. But shout out to Pictures, they did, and they were awesome, and we had a great time in there. The Ryder Cup was on as well. What a great event that turned out to be, especially on Sunday. Yeah, just a great sporting weekend, full stop. But I suppose we've got to start one place, haven't we? Our spotlight game of the week. It can only be one, can't it, Byron? It really can.
Scorigami.
There's something wrong with the Scorigami account as well, because it doesn't update until hours after now.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, I don't know what's happened. And I don't think they ever updated for the Ravens Bills in week 1.
So it's alleged that the person behind it is a Ravens fan.
Yeah. Quite a sulk.
Yeah, quite a sulk. And then, instead of it updating in minutes like it normally does, updates. Come on, Scorigami. Get it sorted.
One job.
One job. Although I'm sure that what goes into it is an awful lot. But, Cowboys 40, Packers 40 on Sunday Night Football. The first tie since 2022 gives an anticlimactic finish to Sunday Night Football Classic. Yeah, I just don't think it fitted on the screen, so I had to change it. But, nobody's satisfied on Parsons' return as offense rules the day in Dallas. Exemplary quarterback play and struggling defenses leads to a points bonanza. First up, how do you feel? This is the first time we've seen the Dallas Cowboys tie as Cowboys fans, because there hadn't been one since, I think it was the 50s. So we haven't seen a Cowboys tie before. Yeah, how do you feel?
Honestly, when the game ended, I just felt empty. Because it went from being like, especially with how the game finished with like, Brandon McManus had an apparent suspected concussion. I was like, well, are they going to be able to kick a point? I don't know who's going to come out and do it. Jordan Love, that clock ticking down, the crazy throw into the back of his receiver, and you see it hit the ground. You look at 1 second, like, they are going to get a kick away. Tie, that doesn't feel great. After what was, goodness me, I mean, you just have to shout out, like, Dak Prescott he's not going to win MVP because he's not on a good enough team. He's playing such good quarterback play right now. That throw and the catch to Jalen Tolbert was, watching it in real time, I'm like, well, there's no way his feet have got down, but what an effort. And then, like, you see the replay, you're like, oh my God, how was Jalen Tolbert caught that? I was like, how was Dak throwing that? Just absolutely elite level quarterback play from Dak Prescott. It's such a shame what he has to, the inability to put a team around him, all because Jerry drags his feet and doesn't want to pay people. I'm not going to regurgitate all of that from every season years before, but games like this really hit it home of like, he's going to end his career without a Super Bowl win and without a dignified, a genuine playoff run. And it's just a shame because his play deserves it. He is a marvelous quarterback. That's no Dallas bias. I'm more than critical of Dallas when they deserve it. More than critical of Dak when he deserves it, but he rarely does. And this week, I just thought he was spectacular. And I think it's a shame that he doesn't get to win that game because no CeeDee Lamb, down half his starting offensive lineman. I just thought, he was lights out. I thought he was brilliant. And a shame it doesn't come with a win.
He's full on just following the Tony Romo career path now, isn't he? Like it's exactly the same thing. It's history repeating itself. The Dallas Cowboys waste elite quarterback play like no other team in the NFL. And the Packers were great. Packers play well as well, so it's hard to they truly deserve to win it, Dallas. But I kind of felt they were the better team, especially the second half. Like it took a while to get going. It kind of looked like it was going to get out of hand. The Packers scored 2 touchdowns. The game flipped on that blocked extra point.
Yeah,
got the Cowboys on the board, returning it for 2. And again, that's such a unique play that we don't see very often. And also, what is going on with kicking? Kick is just hammering low kicks. Is that what's going on? Like in the pursuit of distance, just hammering kicks at a lower trajectory because more and more are getting blocked. We're seeing it every week so far this season. But the game turned on that. And I thought the Cowboys offensively, Brian Schottenheimer is doing an unbelievable job. And I know he's not, obviously he won't be eligible for it as the head coach, but obviously he's the offensive play caller and that's the offensive coordinator. He should get that assistant coach award. I think the way he's going. Obviously the O-line injuries, having to rotate tackles, no CD Lamb, a defense that doesn't give you anything. He called on offensively, they played unbelievably well and rightly down to Dak, but the O-line held up. Dak was only sacked once, which I think was on that Parsons play to end the kind of the drive in overtime, which Dak advanced the ball, so there's no way that should be a sack. But anyway, Javonte Williams, you know what? I never gave him a chance. He's running unbelievably well. He runs through contact. He never takes a backward step. He's been a great free agent signing, but they're running the ball. They're able to get players open. Pickens, just talk about George Pickens for a second. Fucking hell. That was the game he needed to go off with no Lamb. Yeah. And he did. Yeah,
he's 8 for 134, 2 touchdowns. Exactly what you would hope George Pickens to be when he gets a moment to shine as an alpha with a good quarterback. And there he is.
Yeah. And
Gary actually makes a good trade for once.
Dak trusted him. He threw it in double coverage at times, and go up and get the ball. He's the best contested catch receiver in the NFL up to this point in his career. And give him the chances to go get the ball, and he does. So a lot of good, a lot of bad still. Do you think Matt Eberflus is going to stick around much longer? Because they have to do something defensively, the Cowboys. They can't just kind of let this continue. We know reinforcements may be coming, as Jerry's sort of alluding to, in returns from injury. Well, we got Deron Bland back from injury, and the Packers just picked on him. Diggs didn't start the game, which was interesting, although he played later. But you've got hopefully Ravel coming back. Hopefully a sooner than expected Demarion Overshawn back as well, which may help. And we saw Jadeveon Clowney play for the first time. But I feel like the Cowboys need to shake something up defensively because this just is not working.
Yeah, I just don't know what it is. I mean, it feels like going to be harsh to fire Eberflus after he loses Mike Parsons. And like I said, there's nobody coming in. So I'm not sure what good that does really. I mean, maybe it improves things, but I don't want to say they're talent deficient, but there's no elite level to this defense. And I think that's your bigger issue. They've given up the second most points in the league so far, one behind the Ravens. I just think that's going to be how they are this season. I don't think there's a secret key to making them a good defense. I just don't.
The scary thing is with the offense, they've got obviously and it's going, and the offense should stick in terms of the O-line injuries will get better. You hope they don't lose anymore. CD Lamb will come back. Mm-hmm. The offense is going to be up there as if you don't finish as number one, it's going to be in the top 3.
Yeah,
and you just need that defense. This is the exact Bengals conversation we had last year, isn't it? You just need the defense, not even to be middle of even if they were just bottom 3rd, like 20th. Yeah. Like you don't need to be middle of the road, and they would have great chances to win games.
Yep. But we don't.
Yeah. It is, to be in this position 4 weeks in to have the number 1 offense and the 32nd ranked defense in terms of yards per game is is quite something. And conversely, I don't know if it is. It's pretty close. The Browns have got maybe the worst offense, and then the best defense.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you just kind of smack them together, you'd have a 9-8 team. But anyway, I'll quick word on
the 0-17 team.
And the 0-17 teams. A quick word on the Packers, because obviously we don't want to be too Cowboys heavy. But yeah, what did you make of the Packers? Jordan Love equally as good as Dak Prescott was as well. To be fair, to give him his shout out, I thought Jordan Love had a good game and a good bounce back game from kind of the struggles they had against the Browns the week before.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And he knows who his number one receiver is, Romeo Trebs, as I'm calling him after Sunday night. He's gone from Dubs to Trebs. Yeah, I think it's just much more. The offense, again, on fire. Josh Jacobs kind of looking like Josh Jacobs, getting in 2 touchdowns again. Their leading receiver on the night, which is kind of weird. Didn't feel like it. Felt like it was Dubs, but it certainly wasn't. Or Trebs, should I say. But again, the big concern is Dallas are putting up 40 points on you. And Dallas are a great offense, etc., etc. But there was so little pressure. 1 sack, like we say, and that was kind of a sack. You know, it was Dak Prescott on a run trying to get to the end zone. Whether it was before the line of scrimmage, at line of scrimmage, whatever, it's not a real sack. It counts as one, obviously. But they put down passes really well.
To be fair. Yeah, it was given because Prescott was running in. Like there was the corners had turned the backs. He was running. Parsons doesn't take him down. The Cowboys score in a touchdown in overtime. It becomes a lot more difficult for the Packers to tie that game.
Absolutely. And yeah, I don't want to take it away from it being a big play, but I just mean for that vaunted front that has started the season so well, Dallas held them up pretty well. They didn't get much pressure. I don't know what to think of Green Bay going forward, because through 2 weeks, I think consensusly on this show, we were like, okay, this is a top 5 team in the NFL. Defense is on fire. Jordan Love has his ups and downs, but when he's playing well, he's a top 10 quarterback in the league. If they can just keep that attitude going, keep Josh Jacobs fit and keep rolling, they're going to be absolutely fine. I do think that Zach Tom injury at right tackle is proving troublesome to them, but not enough to slow them down enough on offense. But I think when they play the big games against better defenses, that could be an issue. See how quickly he can come back. They would obviously like Jaden Reed back, but the point scoring isn't the issue. It is, what is this defense? And through 4 weeks, I don't know. It looks like, and this is what my issue was with Green Bay going into the season before they signed Mike Parsons. They've got so many good players that they just never seem to take this next step to become great. And if they're doing that with Mike Parsons in the building, I mean, I just don't know. It's hard to take them credible as a Super Bowl contender when they put up, again, I don't want to say this was a dud because they put up 40 points, but you also give up 40 points and you lose to the Browns the prior week. What are the Packers?
Yeah, it's interesting. 2-1-1 looks terrible, weirdly. I don't know. Like, I think for where they are and that start that they had. Yeah. So if they do, found a way to win one of those games the last 2 weeks, feel like it's a better spot. But yeah, they've still got some things to work on. Maybe we just need to calm down and all. Maybe just got a little bit carried away with the start to the season. It is a long old NFL season at the end of the day. It's where you are, come January. So no doubt they will absolutely make the playoffs. If they're going to win the division, I don't know, but we will see. I was trying to look for a stat before again. Have we had a team that has tied a game make the Super Bowl the same season?
That's a great one. No idea.
I think there's one, and it was the Pittsburgh Steelers from So so that they won the Super Bowl. There might be more that were paid, but in 1974, the Steelers tied 35 all with the Broncos, and as of 2025, they are the most recent team to have tied a game during the season and won the Super Bowl.
I wonder what number one was on that day when they had that tie.
Don't know.
I thought that's where it was going. I don't have it, obviously. Didn't know this was a fact until you just told me it. But I do think it's notable as well. Green Bay have a worse point differential than the Minnesota Vikings through 4 games.
That's crazy.
Yeah, isn't it just?
Wild. Interesting. Well, teed us up. Oh, no, we're not going to go there just yet.
They have a worse point differential than the 2-2 Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh, well, that's a great segue into our next game, Byron. Spotlight and takeaways. We've just got two to focus on. The Chiefs 37, Ravens 20. KC look worthy of hype for the first time this year. Chiefs pull out Ravens with biggest points total in 2 years. That also, I was like, that's wild, but that's the way the Chiefs have been recently. Ravens look lost on defense, lacking leaders and playmakers. Mahomes takes advantage. I was so disappointed in the Ravens in this one.
Yeah, I mean, I picked the Chiefs with the points for our ATS, and I picked Pacheco for our fourfold, who he outperformed his price, to be fair. He was running back 18 in the slate, I think. So, I mean, he done better but he certainly wasn't a winner for Fantasy Game Day. Because he fell into the end zone, so he done okay. But because the Ravens are soft, and it feels weird to say it, but they are. And
you said it last week.
That's what I mean. Yeah, that's why I picked them. They are soft, and Kansas City took full advantage of it. They lost Roquan Smith during the game. They just do not look like a Ravens team. Madubuike has been ruled out for the season now, which isn't really a surprise, but it is a big loss. I don't know what the Ravens are. And again, another one. Just saying about the Packers, saying about the Ravens now. The Ravens are 1-3. They host the Texans on Sunday coming up. Texans are 2.5 point favorites. With Lamar Jackson expected out. And fun fact, I got the Texans at plus 3.5 yesterday. They're now minus 2.5. So we're happy with that little swing. Because it seemed like Lamar was going to be out, but now the rumors are stronger. So, but Lamar wasn't shining prior to coming out of the game anyway. 14-20, a touchdown and interception, 50 yards on the ground. Justice Hill was the leading rusher, had a touchdown. But I think this is all about the return of Xavier Worthy for Kansas City. He got over 100 yards total between the ground and through the air. You could see they left him one-on-one. I think it was with Marlon Humphrey, and Patrick was like, yep, that'll do for me. And you seen Worthy just burn him down the field. I think that was his longest catch, 37 yards. And they just look like a reborn offense. Again, this Ravens defense is appalling. I can't believe how bad they are. But credit to Patrick Mahomes, credit to the Chiefs who came out and take advantage of it. Mahomes' 4-touchdown performance. Threw it to everybody. There's no favourite. Everyone apart from Travis Kelce got in the end zone, I think, this week. Hollywood Brown, Juju, Pacheco, Tyquan Thornton. Everybody got the game up for grabs this week. And Chiefs are maybe back. They've got Worthy back this week. They've got Rashee Rice coming in a couple of weeks. That is going to help out a ton. And they just look like a functional offense again. Defense was fine enough. Shut down Baltimore. Felt pretty easily, truthfully.
I was just shocked how easy it was for the Chiefs. Mm-hmm. That's probably the thing that, I thought this was going to be the one that potentially the Ravens can just get over that hump, but they're just never going to get over that hump of being able to win these games. I don't think. I just don't think it's going to happen. The injury, you mentioned some of the injuries already. Obviously, Madubuike out for the season. Wiggins came out. Humphrey came out. Obviously, even though he was having a torrid time with Xavier Worthy. But Staley came out. This is the left tackle, and you're going to miss Lamar for at least one game. I saw that earlier. I saw the Ravens were still 3.5 point favorites, so I was like, oh, well, maybe there's hope that Lamar's going to play. He's not. Cooper Rush is good for one game. We know this better than anybody. Cooper Rush is good for a spot start.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm not too confident, I will say.
Well,
the problem is the Ravens aren't good around him, though. Like, he doesn't have CeeDee Lamb on the Ravens. Zay Flowers, I think, has had a really good season, got 75 yards here, 74 yards here, but he's not CeeDee Lamb. Mark Andrews isn't CeeDee Lamb. He doesn't have that kind of weaponry. Derrick Henry's going to have to strap up and be the king if Baltimore are going to rescue anything from this season, really. I mean, they're not too far back in the division. They're still odds on to make the playoffs.
Lamar can only miss 1 week, I think, because I think you can, you go to 1-4, okay. Lamar can only miss 1 week. You need him back, and then your margin for error doesn't become obviously becomes a lot smaller, which is what I'm trying to say. So I think the nature of it now, there'll be situations before in 60, when there's only 6 playoff spots, 2 wildcard spots where you would be completely out of it at 1 and 4. Not so much now. I suppose they've got to navigate these next few weeks. I think if they can get to, so they've got this 6 weeks, they can get to 500 after that Browns game in week 11. I think they'll be okay because they've got a relatively okay run of it because they have the Bengals, a Burrow-less Bengals twice, the Jets. Those Steelers games are going to be huge because they've got them 14 and 18. So they've got enough time to still win the division because they've got those games late. So, it's just not looking good. But I am a man of my word. I said on the preview that I would be taking the team to place the bet to win the Super Bowl, and whichever team fell to 1 and 3. That is, of course, the Baltimore Ravens. They're only 10-1. I was hoping for a bit more than that, but 10-1, and on the hope that they put some results together. This is before I did place that this afternoon. Before I knew Lamar was definitely missing this week. So maybe I should have been a bit smarter and wait until after that Texans game if they're likely going to lose it and got a bit more value. But I think they've got enough time, and hopefully I can get in a position. Probably going to have to win a playoff game though to be able to cash out for a decent profit. Man of my word.
And they are still 20-29 to win the division. But I think that speaks more to the division, and we'll get to that in a little bit.
It definitely does. Excellent. Right, let's go to my game to focus on. This is so much easier when Joe runs the screen. We're going to go to Ireland, go to Dublin. Steelers 24, Vikings 21. Steelers try to hurl it away, hold on to avoid croak. Pittsburgh defense showing signs of Liffey, forcing key turnovers combined with efficient offense as DK goes off and Kenny gains well. Proud of my pun work there. This wasn't a close game until kind of the last few minutes because the Steelers were fully in control of this one until they just kind of had a bit of a mad finish to the game defensively. Just a real bizarre way to let the Vikings back in it and make it a one-possession game with make it a one-possession game with Jordan Addison. I'm trying to remember who it was who made the huge play. Addison was freeing behind. Like, I understand really what the Steelers were doing. Like, so you're almost not in full prevent mode, but it was like at the 2-minute warning sort of. 10 points up, just don't do anything stupid. And then, they let Addison in behind them. And, kind of had to work then to make sure the Vikings didn't, come back and at least force overtime. But on the main, I thought the Steelers were, again, the defense has come alive now. Last 2 weeks, I think the generous Patriots helped them with kind of a lot of turnovers. But then I thought defensive line really showed up in this one. We got TJ Watt. TJ Watt had a good game. Sort of shouted out that was going to need to be a must. And he did. He made a few really big plays. Derek Harmon kind of getting in the action now. He was really, really impressive. Tip pass at the line of scrimmage that got the first interception. I thought he just had a really, really good game and a good showing. And then, offensively, helped by field position from the turnovers. But Rodgers was just solid. Just, took what the Vikings gave them. They schemed it up really well. Obviously, Brian Flores and the Vikings gave him fits in London last year when he was playing for the Jets. And we're all over him. But I think he was sacked twice, but dealt with it pretty well. And then they ran the ball well, which was key. In spite of Jaylen Warren ended up being out injured, which kind of
inactive.
Reared its head Saturday night, and then he missed it. But it's not going to be Caleb Johnson. It's going to be kind of Gainwell. And he had a really, really good game as well. He had, 99 on the ground, another 6 grabs, 35 yards in the air as well. So, I thought it was just real solid from the Steelers, apart from that mad 2 minutes at the end.
Yeah. I still remain unconvinced by the Steelers. I think they were solid, and that's enough to win games when you're playing against Carson Wentz. Credit to them. They're now 3-1, halfway to my over-under prediction. I predicted them to win 5 games. My over-under ended up being under 6.5. So, yeah, they're already halfway there. So I think we can probably write that off as a loss. They're just winning these close games. And, that's a sign of a good team. They're staying alive when they need to. Rodgers is getting all his yak yardage from DK Metcalf. Just dumps it and DK just bursts off. And, while that works, it's a great thing. DK Metcalf 5 of 5, 126 yards and a touchdown. It's a great performance from him. And he's obviously massively carrying that passing attack, but that's what you trade for. That's what you're paying for. So while all that remains in place, while the defense is getting better by the week, it feels like. One, obviously, flag Jalen Ramsey out for a couple of weeks, I think. And he's been such a leader for this defense since he came in. I think that could cost them. But Joey Porter was inactive this week, and I don't think he's a long-term injury. So I'm not saying he's a like-for-like replacement because Ramsey's been truthfully better than I anticipated in Pittsburgh. I don't think he was washed by any means, but I think he's really come in and took to that leadership role. But yeah, getting Joey Porter back doesn't offset Jalen Ramsey's injury, but it helps, obviously. You'd rather have them both out there, but if it has to be one at a time, so be it. So yeah, interesting to see what the Steelers continue to do this season, but I think they had done well enough taking care of business here. Wentz for the Vikings. Some ups, some downs. 2 interceptions, 2 touchdowns, a lot of yardage. Having Addison back obviously helped. We've seen that with that one long play. I think if Addison was in his 4th game of the season, I think that was probably a touchdown. But yeah. I think he's maybe just getting himself up to speed, as is to be expected. I'm not totally out and worried about the Vikings just yet, but they need to take care of business on Sunday against the Browns in London.
Yeah, I know that's a tough one going up against that defense. We'll preview that in the show, but the preview. But yeah, real tough game, I think, off the back of this. And they're going to be staying in London for the week. So, yeah, they've had the full Ireland and London experience. First team to play 3 consecutive games in 3 different countries in NFL history of the Minnesota Vikings.
Good facts. I like that one.
There you go. Full of them today. Full of it. Full of something. We should shout out the best, and that's a bad prompt just to pump myself up. I took the Steelers plus 2.5 in this one. So yeah, got that one. And then in the other games we've talked about, it wasn't great from a betting perspective from us. Joe had Jordan Love 300 plus passing yards and 2 plus passing touchdowns at just over 5-1, 23-4. And I also had the over in Ravens Chiefs at 10-11. Those are our successful bets. And I will keep track of the rest as we go. Overreactions. I'll go first. Although that's definitely not the order we said we were going to do it in. I'll go to one of the games of the early slate on Sunday. Eagles-Bucks. Eagles 31, Buccaneers 25. The champs have plenty of problems to solve. Whole offense seems to be struggling. Cryptic tweets from wide receiver 1. 2K Saquon with nowhere to run. A secondary that's barely functioning. And dominant O-lines and D-lines that finally appear mortal. And the Eagles, this has just been a culmination. The Eagles are 4-0. The champs, they're finding unique ways to win the last couple of weeks and close games out. It is not pretty at all from the Philadelphia Eagles. And when you look at this game, and it was tough conditions in Tampa. It was a particularly hot day that was talked about a lot before the game. Not easy if you kind of, Northeast team going down to Florida like that. But the Bucs were missing so many people.
Yeah, that's why I was so heavy on the Eagles. Obviously, I took them to cover, but I also had them to cover 9.5 points, which didn't come in, as we see, it's 6.8.
You missed that. We had, this was probably our best game of the week in terms of bets. Joe had Egbuka anytime touchdown scorer at 3-2, over 3.5 field goals. Pinching my bets there. I love an over field goals bet at 6-5, and I had the Eagles minus the 3.5. But yeah, it was obviously big. Ultimately, the difference in this game turns out to be actually that special teams play that started the game, which was the block punt, because that. I know the Eagles take the safety, but That's the difference here in this one. And the Bucks, again, we could talk positively about the Bucks, but what do you think's going on here with the Eagles? Because it feels like it's just there's just some internal conflicts that are just bubbling to the surface here. And outside of Cooper DeJean, that secondary is an absolute mess.
I'm glad you mentioned him because Cooper DeJean is awesome. So good. I remember going back to last season before the draft, and to me, he was the perfect Seahawks fit for Mike McDonald's defense. Obviously, the passing him took Byron Murphy, DT. I think they'd rather have Cooper DeJean still, but whatever. And then he obviously ended up in Philadelphia. Of course he did, because he was a player that I absolutely loved, and I thought he was going to be great. And he shows it, since the middle of his rookie season through to Sunday, he shows it more and more. It feels like every week he is the heartbeat of that defensive backs. Obviously, you've got the guys up front, Carter, Davis, Zach Bourne, who really shine snap to snap. But yeah, Cooper DeJean, I think he's already the heartbeat or one of the heartbeats of that defense. But otherwise, the offense looks broken, which is wild considering the pieces. Do you know how many passing yards they had in the second half?
Oh, no. Go for it.
0.
Sorry.
And they attempted passes. I think Jalen Hurts was 0 for 8 in the second half. 0 passing yards on a 4-0 team who went into a playoff team and won on the road. While you're 4-0, it's hard to nitpick too much. Kind of. But they don't look like a 4-0 team. They put up the fewest points Dallas have had on them this season. And Dallas have played the Giants, who aren't a shining offense, with Russell Wilson, who's already been benched. None of this screams like, this is a Super Bowl winning offense. And yet they're 4-0. The line doesn't look great. Saquon Barkley doesn't look like Saquon Barkley. I know we hear a lot about this, especially in fantasy football, of the curse of hitting 300-plus carries, and then the following year you fall off. Doesn't always happen. There was a lot of people sticking their nose up at it this year, like, well, Saquon's great. Why would it be a bad thing? Well, I think we're maybe seeing why it's a bad thing again, because it's really tough to do on your body 2 years in a row. He does not look himself. He's not got that burst. The line isn't holding up as well, but I think Saquon's issues are more Saquon, truthfully, than the line. AJ Brown, it was inevitable this was going to come, that he was going to start, the dummy would come out sooner or later, and it's, we're here. I find it a little kind of unbecoming on a 4-0 team to be spitting your dummy out, truthfully. But receivers are what they are. We kind of know that's how they are. He did have 9 targets.
Yeah, I think, which I think would he go 2 for 7, 2 catches for 7? Yeah, is that what it was?
Yeah, so he had as many yards as he did missed catches, which isn't great. I'm not going to say I charted it, so I don't know if those were on him or on Jalen Hurts being inaccurate. But 9 targets is plenty. It's more than double anyone else had on the team. Maybe a bit of an AJ Brown issue as well, but
it stems to apparently conflict between him and the offensive coordinator, and this is the tweet that AJ Brown posted. I think it was the Sunday night, late Sunday night, or 11:02. I guess that'd be Sunday afternoon. If you're not welcome, not listened to, quietly withdraw. Don't make a scene. Shrug your shoulders and be on your way. What the odds that we get an AJ Brown trade request?
Yeah. It's so... There's a classic Denny Carter tweet where he talks about the traditional quarterback tweet, typical running back tweet, tight end tweet, and wide receiver tweet. And AJ Brown once tweeted it word for word. So the wide receiver one is, the enemy speaks kindly and holds a knife, as like the definitive wide receiver tweet. And AJ Brown once tweeted that as like a hat tip to that tweet. And this feels like exactly out of that ballpark as well. Don't make a scene. It's like, well, AJ Brown, you're a huge name, and you're deciding to put this out after you've just had a shit game yourself on offense. We know what you're doing. Yeah, I mean, I don't expect an AJ Brown trade request, truthfully. I think the Eagles can handle it internally, but I wouldn't be stunned. I'd be surprised. I wouldn't be stunned, I guess, is maybe how I'm trying to think of it. Because you're not going to go anywhere else and win more than the Eagles do. And you get paid plenty by Philadelphia. We talk about that a lot, of how he pays his players early, trusts his players. But could there be a change at offensive coordinator mid-season? I think that's more in play. Yeah. Who that'd be, etc., goodness knows. but I wouldn't be stunned to see it because it just feels like the offense, being 4-0 is great, but they won't be satisfied with their performances.
No. And I just want a quick one as well, because he's created a monster now. Fuck Dean Blandino, because you've made them create an unstoppable wrinkle to the fucking already unstoppable tush push. Yeah. The reverse, fake tush push reverse. Yeah, there was just a big fuck you from Nick Sirianni and the Philadelphia Eagles. And yeah, I don't know how you stop that. I really don't.
No, I mean, don't let them get in short yardage, I guess. But, we're making a big list of things that people need to do at this point to, stop them. Don't let them get in short yardage at all. Okay, well, that's tough to do against a Super Bowl winning team.
Yeah. I wonder how many more times we'll see that through the course of the season. But again, Baker and the Bucs on a whole did a good job. Bucky Irving had a monster game. Emeka Egbuka, huge play where he was just sauntering and walking into the end zone. Yeah. But again, given the fact that of what's missing, we keep saying the Bucs are going to get better. The 3-1. I think it's not a disheartening loss for the Buccaneers. They hung with the champs with key pieces missing and could have had a shot to tie it up at the end. Yeah,
it's funny thinking of Egbuka sauntering into the end zone. Like, they probably wouldn't have minded those 2 seconds at the end of the game, actually. But I mean, I'm not going to drag him for that. I love Egbuka. I think that was absolutely fine. That isn't why they lost the game, getting one potential punt return. I just thought it was kind of funny. But yeah, Rashad, Bucky Irving MRI yesterday. Another injury for the Bucs. I don't know what they've done to deserve such luck. Maybe getting Egbuka was kind of their good luck for the season, and the bad luck is every single player is getting injured. We'll see, I guess. Not sure how long Mike Evans is out for as yet. He didn't go on IR, which is a positive, but I don't think he'll be back this week. No Bucky Irving. No Bucky Irving would be a big loss this week as well. I do worry that at a certain point it becomes too much to carry.
Yeah, you can't from it. Yeah,
and they have a tough one this week as well. They go into Seattle, who I'll hold my hand up. I was dead wrong on Seattle. I think they've been really good this year to start the season, and I think they play the kind of ball that the Bucs won't want to play against. Really physical.
Yeah,
get it down your throat, play action, things that can slow down a Todd Bowles defense and cause it long drives and keep that defense on the field, which I don't think they'll want to do. So, yeah, I do worry a bit about the Bucs just with all the injuries piling up. They're playing, Baker Mayfield's playing as good as anybody, I think, in the league right now for what he has to do with the players around him. But I do think at a certain point that there's only so much you can do.
Can't do that for 17 weeks, can you?
Exactly. You can't just lose a player every single week and just continue.
Yeah. I think I've seen already a week for one of my favorite clips of the NFL season so far. Poor Vita Vea trying to beat Jalen Hurts to the corner on a rush.
Yeah.
We know Vita Vea is a beast and unbelievably athletic, but I just felt so sorry for him trying to beat Jalen Hurts to the corner. And he just promptly ran around him and down the sideline. But Vita Vea did have a great game as well.
I've been a big lad playing soccer before. Vita, I know the feeling of like, I've got him on an angle here, and it's like, they just took a step to the right. Okay, I can't keep up with that.
Yeah.
Very demoralizing. Thankfully, Vita Vea gets played plenty to be demoralized though, so I don't.
Yeah, shout out Vita Vea. Awesome defensive tackle. Right, cool. Yeah, Bucs, Eagles. That was my overreaction. Byron, onto yours. Like I say, we don't very often get to touch on Monday Night Football during our review show, but that's where you've gone.
Yeah, the Bengals are declawed, and the AFC North is the NFL basement division. Bengals primetime, Nothing Burger shines a light on the whole AFC North as the worst division in football, which I think that's probably the first time it's ever been the worst division in football.
Who'd have thunk it? Yeah, we was expecting it to be possibly the best, but yeah.
Yeah, every single team in the AFC North has a negative point differential. Despite the Steelers being 3-1, they are -2 points on the season, the same as the 1-3 Ravens. The Bengals are appalling. They are the first team, I think, since the mid-noughties Raiders to put up less than fewer than 200 yards of offense in 3 of their first 4 games of the season. 2 of those were with Joe Burrow, to be fair. I don't know how they beat the Jaguars. I like the Jaguars a lot. I don't know how they won that game. I maybe need to go back and look at it again because maybe there's some interceptions or some turnover luck that I've forgotten about or just don't really remember the game, truthfully. The Bengals are appalling. I'm going to give a little spoiler for our power rankings, which will come out tomorrow. I have the Bengals at 29. They are dead on arrival. The only teams I have below them haven't won a game, and the Bengals are 2-2, which is crazy. They finally started 2-0, and again, it feels like that was their poison pill. Everything just went south from there. If I was them, I'd be looking to trade Trey Hendrickson, trade T. Higgins. The season is dead in the water. Never mind bringing in Jameis or anybody else that you can get as a quarterback. It doesn't matter. Denzel Mims. Well, you might as well have Denzel Mims at right tackle because Amarius Mims isn't blocking anybody. He is just watching edge rushers run past him. It's unbelievable. This O-line is going to get Jeff Browning killed. They're just dead. The Bengals. I don't think they should be favored in another game this season because they can't run the ball, they can't throw the ball, they can't defend, and they can't block.
The O-line in particular is the one player I've not got it up and prep it to tweet to share because it'd be a great one to show. Broncos rush 3.
Yeah.
The 3 interior O-linemen plus the running back block 1 person, so 4 are blocking him, and both tackles get beat 1-on-1, and Jay Browning gets murdered. It was, I feel so. I've not been nice about Jay Browning, but that's just so fucking unfair.
It's ridiculous. By point difference on the season, 4 of the 14 worst teams in the NFL are in the AFC North. By covering the spread, 4 of the worst 11 teams in the league are in the AFC North. The Ravens are soft on defense and not efficient enough on offense. The Steelers are a yak machine with a defense who's performing okay. The Browns haven't got an offense and are going to Dylan Gabriel this week, I believe. It's the end of the Joe Flacco reign. And the Bengals I've just spoke about, dead on arrival. They weren't shining with Joe Burrow either, to be fair. They barely eked out the Browns in week 1.
A game and a half with Joe Burrow. I think it's fair to say Joe Burrow would have got his stride, no doubt, surely.
No doubt he would have. It'd be better than this.
Well, yeah.
But like their offense wasn't shining in week 1 against the Browns. And the Browns are a good defense, but like they were terrible against the Browns. And yeah, they beat the Jags with Jake Browning and Joe Burrow, which I think come the end of the season, I'm going to look back at it as like, what the happened there? I mean, I'm doing it now already. But yeah, the Browns are dead. They're not competing. They've just put Cedric Tillman on IR as well. They've got nothing going. Steelers are the shining light of this division with a 3-1 record and a -2 point differential. They're not a good team. They've got incredibly fortunate in the wins they've had. I mean, apart from maybe Sunday where they did deserve to win the game, I'll give them that. And the Ravens, I can't believe how bad the Ravens are. They are just, again, I'm just going to keep saying it until they're not. They're soft. Yeah. And I think John Harbaugh should be worried about his job come the end of the season because they're not looking like a well-coached team in anything. I don't think he's elevating them above their level right now.
Yeah. Quick shout out on the Broncos just to this one because we were talking about the game. Yeah. Broncos, Bengals. Jesus Christ. Just again, pretty straightforward win here for the Broncos. This again was one of our more successful betting efforts. I had Broncos -7. You had Bo Nix 250 plus pass yards at 37-20, and Joe had J.K. Dobbins with 100 plus rush yards, which he just got with 101. A much better performance from the Broncos. They needed it. I feel like they were just been struggling a bit. I think they just needed, even though it was against obviously opposition they were expected to beat, feels like they just needed it just to help get them kick-started a bit.
Yeah, definitely. That is like the ultimate like feel better game, isn't it? Just have the Bengals come into your building and absolutely destroy them. Bengals went up 3-0 and lost 28-3. It was just an absolute walkover. Marvin Mims got himself in the end zone, my man, on a rushing play, weirdly enough. But yeah, I don't think we can learn too much from the Broncos other than they took care of business. Nice big game for them on Sunday coming up, though. They play
Philadelphia Eagles.
The Philadelphia Eagles. Should be a good one.
at the link, so this could be a true test of are the Broncos serious or not. But they've got a good run of games after that where they can kind of stack some wins as well. So, yeah, I'm kind of expecting, whatever happens there after that, the Broncos kind of go on a bit of a run. If they are serious, we will see. Right, enough about those games. That's all of those, isn't it? So let's get to our fourfold challenge. So close, Byron, this week to getting the first one over the line. 3-1. You were 3-1. I was 2-1-1. I thought I was 3-1 as well, but it was 2-1-1. Joe 2-2, and I guess Jenny 2-2 as well. So the elusive fourfold. Still there for us. Joe took the Rams as his favorite. 3.5. They won by 7. I think we have to. It's the one place to start here. The Colts, almost in a mirror image of I can't remember what week it was last year, where Jonathan Taylor did the same thing. Adonai Mitchell, what is he doing to fumble the ball before it's crossed the goal line and then fumble it out the end zone? And at that point, that would have put the Colts 16 with the extra point, so 17-13 up.
Yep.
And given the fact that the Rams ended up coming back from 2 scores, that could have put them in a much stronger position and really could have been the kickstart to them killing the game off against the Rams.
Yeah, I was so confused by this. So I had a bit of a late night on Saturday and got up early for the Vikings game. Early-ish, 8:30, and then me and Cindy got we got takeout for lunch, and I got this brunch burger. It was great, but it was very heavy, and I ended up having a little snooze in the late games. And I had a bet on Adonai Mitchell scoring a touchdown, and I seen him score a touchdown, and then I woke up and he hadn't been credited with a touchdown on DraftKings. I'm like, did I dream that? It's like I put in one of my group chats, like, did Adonai Mitchell score a touchdown? Like, I'm sure he did. Did I actually dream that happened? And like, oh, you just want to go back and watch the play. Just search Adonai Mitchell on Twitter. I'm like, fucking hell. So yeah, he was 11. He's never scored a career touchdown. And with Alec Pierce out, I thought this is a good opportunity for him to get going. And I mean, he did get going. He got 3 receptions, 96 yards. He had a great game, apart from when it mattered. Because he also had the penalty, which stopped Jonathan Taylor going for a 50-plus yard touchdown. It was really not Adonai Mitchell's week or my week for backing Adonai Mitchell. It was very, very, very confusing, though, because I seen him run into the end zone and then obviously fell back asleep for a minute. I wasn't in bed asleep. I was just like, you know how it is after you've had a nice big burger for your lunch.
I usually have a master's afternoon nap. That's like golf major Sunday nap is usually where I'm at. But yeah, I get what you mean.
So confusing. And yeah, I mean, I would have put that game to bed, and it just feels like Adonai Mitchell just can't keep out of his own way. Again, especially 2 penalties in this game that would have been big for the Colts, 4-0. And just not to be.
I think I'm still in on the Colts, though. I think I sort of said before this, like, if the Colts can play the Rams close, whether, obviously if they win, great. If not, if they can play the Rams close, I'll still be in on them. If they get blown out, I think that might be the start of it. My worry is the same play, the similar plays in terms of when Jonathan Taylor did it last year, doing it, that cost them that game against the Broncos, ultimately led to them not making the playoffs. My worry is this just like that moment in time that just tilts everything? Everything's been going so well. They've been playing great. Daniel Jones, obviously he struggled a bit in this one, and I was expecting him to come down a bit because that Rams defense, obviously had a pick early on, had another one, but he still did okay. He still played relatively solid football.
Yeah.
And then they just have that moment where it's a huge moment in the game, and you just hand it away. And is that when things maybe start to spiral? Hopefully not, because the Colts have been good value so far. Rams, obviously, great. Stafford had another great outing. And Puka Nacua is just a monster, isn't he? He's just insane how good he is.
Most catches through 4 games in a season in NFL history.
Yeah. 170 yards through and a touchdown as well. What's he at? 42. What's that
42
pace?
from 4 games.
42 from 4. What's that pace him out for the season? It's 10 and a quarter, isn't it? So it's like somewhere near 170 something.
Yeah.
Receptions. What's the record?
Less than that. Michael Thomas a few years ago, wasn't it? Yeah, 178.5 is on pace for.
Yeah.
NFL.
It's like 140 something, I think Michael Thomas is, I want to say it was.
Yeah, I was going to say 150, but yeah, it's 149, yeah.
Yeah, there we go. So
yeah. You're well clear of that.
Yeah, Puka Nacua on pace for...
Just needs to get 10 catches a game.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Cool. That's that one in the books. Bears get business done just against the Raiders.
Sure.
Yeah, and this is watch out. The Bears covered. The Bears were 1 point underdogs when we took this. I can't remember if they flipped before the game to be favourites, but I would say be wary of teams that hammer that put up points against the Cowboys, and you think, oh, that offense might be doing something, because the week after they're going to struggle. Saw it with the Giants. I expected with that. We saw it with the Bears, I think, because they really, really did struggle to get going. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it ended up being, well, you'll see they were 1 point underdog, so expected to be close, but I just think the Bears look really shoddy here.
Totally agree, yeah. Nice to see Roman Hunter in the end zone again, my man. Come on, let's keep it going. But yeah, it certainly wasn't a shining light compared to the week before. Another 1 TD, 1 interception for Caleb. Wasn't a shining game, 200 yards, 22 of 37 passing. Running attack did not get going at all. Swift hadn't got his touchdown, but certainly wasn't beating up on the Raiders. I think for the majority of this game, in most aspects of the game, I think the Raiders were the better team, truthfully. But what the Raiders did have was bad Geno at the helm. 2 touchdowns, fair enough, but 3 interceptions. You're not going to get too far with that. So, yeah, he's been I would say underwhelming to start this season, Geno. He's had some up moments, but he's had a lot of down moments and more downs than ups so far. So, yeah, they'll want to see that get ironed out pretty quickly, I think, on the Raiders season. They're already 1-3, but their season might be in the tank because they don't look great. And that O-line, again, I don't want to defend Geno because his throws were not good enough and the interceptions were on him mainly for this week. But that O-line is not helping anybody. Gentry got off the schneid with 3 touchdowns, which was really good to see. And actually, a fun fact about rookie running backs. Might as well squeeze it in here. Now we're talking about Ashton Gentry with 138 rushing yards. This Sunday, or this game week, is the most rushing yards ever put up in September by a rookie class.
Oh, excellent. Amari Hansen had a big game. We'll get to that. Gentry.
Woody Marks.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Good start.
Cam Scatterboo.
Yeah, we'll get to that because I love watching Cam Scatterboo. He's awesome. This one, I suppose, Bears, got over the line, blocked, another block kick, blocked field goal. Daniel Carson, 54-yard field goal attempt that was blocked. That obviously otherwise may have given the Raiders the win, but yeah, Bears survived 2-2. Felt like last week was must win for them because if they'd gone 0-3, this one, if you're going to be serious around can we do something this season, you needed to win. I think the Bears have got a bye, and then they've got an opportunity to exercise some demons as they've got.
If Caleb can throw a Hail Mary winner.
Yeah. They've got the Commanders, which obviously that sparked their downfall from 4-2 or 5-2, wherever they were last year, to not winning a game until week 18. So we'll see how the Bears bounce back. But yeah, I think it's a mess. I think Vegas is a mess. I also think as well, Brady ain't going to mess, with Brady there as well. They ain't going to mess around. If stuff ain't working, they're just going to fire people. Like, if it ain't working, they're just going to fire people. So they don't really have another option to do this. Not if they can hand the reins over from Geno to somewhere else, but they're going to start planning for life without Geno next year pretty quickly, I would have thought. Cool. Joe took Bills Saints as he's under 48. Well, the Saints covered this one. Obviously, the total as a result was over, went to 50. The Saints were well in this. And if you are the New Orleans Saints, should you be fucking around trying to run the Philly special when you've got the chance to go up in the second half against the Bills?
Maybe. I don't know.
Chris Olave throwing the ball.
Yeah, I don't really know. I find it hard to criticize because they're so talent deficient compared to the Bills. So, like, maybe you want to shake it up a little bit with something unusual. I'm going to give Kellen Moore a lot of credit for the way he's managed this team. I think so far through 4 games, they are so under-talented that, I don't know, I'll just excuse him, I think.
I'll tell you, it was just before halftime. But point being, they could have gone into, the 2 minutes to go in the first half, it could have been 17-14 up against the Bills. And they stuck in that game up until maybe there was 8-9 minutes to go. The Saints were right in that game.
Absolutely, yeah. And, we talk about, like, the Bills playing with the food. They don't cover these big spreads. God, I don't know why I took the Bills to cover. I'm so annoyed with that. Because it was one of them, like, I knew it was wrong as soon as I did it, but I was like, they might do. They might just put 30 points and the Saints don't get going. But I just want to give credit to Kellen Moore. Like, yeah, we can take umbrage with that call, but I just think he's doing such a good job as a first-time head coach in it's a talent-poor team.
Yeah,
like, ultimately. I just think he's doing such a good job to keep, like, hope there a little, and I just hope that, like, he gets to see out the rebuild part of this and not just be like, when they go 2-15, be like, okay, well, you're not a good coach, on you go, as a one-and-done guy. But I think he deserves better. I don't think there's too much to talk about from the Bills' perspective. James Cook was great, obviously. 100+ and a touchdown again. Khalil Shakir, touchdown in back-to-back weeks. Great to see him back and firing after an injury early in the season or coming into the season. And I mean, like, the Bills were comfortable enough. Yeah, they didn't cover, but, like, I don't think they were ever in doubt of seriously losing the game. I don't think there's too much to take away from this one. I'll try to give Kellen Moore a shout out. I think he's doing a good job.
I agree. I hope the Saints do get. I mean, they've got a chance next week. They've got the Giants. That could be one of them on the calendar that's circling. They've got the Giants at the Superdome, so that could be the Saints win. I think Spencer Rattler's playing really well as well. The stats are horrible, I know, but I think he's doing such a good job.
Agreed, yeah. And I tell you, if they don't beat the Giants, though,
it's a long way.
I'm starting to feel good about my Panthers bet.
Yeah.
I have the Panthers as the first team to beat give the Saints a win. They play in week 10 and then again in week 15 or something. So, like, ideally it'd be week 10, get it off the thing. But yeah, it'd be an interesting one. Oh, we're cheering the Giants next week. I am.
You are, yeah. But I feel like that's probably a real good shot to get it done.
Yeah.
Giants. Anyway, so Joe had the under on that. He also had the over on Colts Rams, so Joe finished 2-2. Byron, you took the Jags as your favourite. We know obviously you're really, really high on the Jags. And they not only covered, but they won outright against the San Francisco 49ers, 26-21. I mean, do you want to talk through this one?
I mean, I didn't take them as my favourite, but I did take them as a money line on my bet for the day. I took them as my underdog. And I would have did take them on the money line as well. I think they're a better team than the 49ers. I think they showed that here. 49ers had 4 turnovers to Jacksonville's 0, despite, Trevor Lawrence isn't shining, but he's doing enough. Travis Etienne had that great touchdown run. Travis Hunter getting more involved, had that great catch. A bit of a hospital ball type from Trevor Lawrence, truthfully, but Hunter came in and got it. Travis Hunter is starting to shine on blocking plays as well. I think I'm way too optimistic about the Jags. I think if Trevor Lawrence can just keep his errors under control, big if I know, I think what I thought the Jags can do is possible, which is win 10 games and win the division. Nothing crazy. But yeah, I think the 49ers is it's a walking wounded. Pearsall injured in the game again. Jennings injured in the game again. And it feels like the price they paid for Christian McCaffrey being fit is everybody else is not.
Yeah.
2-2, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions for Brock on his return. He was fine. 300 yards. Not why they lost the game. I think no Nick Bosa and the defense is going to be an issue the rest of the way.
Yeah, sure. The Niners go into obviously a short week as well now. We're on Thursday Night Football, which we'll talk about at the end. But yeah, with banged up and feels like this could. I know they're 3-1, but it feels like that could get out of control quite quickly, especially with the Rams and the Seahawks going really well in that division. Tough one. But yeah, Jags. We're going to see them in a couple of weeks. We're going to see Jags Rams in a couple of weeks. So looking forward to that one. Hopefully both teams can keep going. We've got, we're going to have 2 Big winning records heading into the Wembley game. But Jags are on Sunday Night Football. Sunday night, no, Monday Night Football this week. They've got the Chiefs, so that's an opportunity, prime time audience to show if you are for real or not. You took the over in the Ireland game, the Dublin game, which hit. Under in Commanders Falcons. I also bet that. And yeah, I mean, the Falcons, after scoring nothing last week, it's an explosion of points, 34. And Bijan went for combined 180 yards. Drake London over 100 yards. Kyle Pitts had 5 for 70 and a touchdown. They can play offense.
Yep. We just don't know when, or why, or how.
It's all or nothing.
Michael Penix finally won a game where the opposition scored double-digit points. Good for Michael Penix. I don't know what the Falcons are. I've said that 3 times now on this show about the Packers and someone else. The Ravens, maybe. The Falcons might end up winning that division because the Bucs are going to lose a player every week, apparently. And I have no idea if they're good or not. I know Bijan Robinson is extraordinary. I know Drake London's good.
I think Kyle Pitts might be good.
Yeah, Kyle Pitts might be good, actually. Yeah, that's a really good shout. And the rest, I really don't know. Darnell Mooney injured again. That doesn't bode well. They might be the team, if anybody, they've already gave away the first round pick next year. Why not say, like, hey, Cincinnati, how about we send you a third and you send us T. Higgins? If you don't ask, you don't get. I just don't know. I think if Jaden Daniels in this game, I think the Commanders still win. So I'm not dinging the Commanders too much for 2 games with Marcus Mariota, who hasn't been awful, but hasn't been good. Like, he's been fine.
Yeah.
On the balance of it.
In his double revenge games, I guess, didn't he?
Yeah.
It
did fine.
Is there worry about Jaden Daniels here? Because I think we were all expecting him to be back because he practiced the Wednesday. Obviously, we record our show on a Thursday. So sometimes, depending on how late we do it, we get the Thursday practice report in. I don't really think there's any danger of him missing this game. Is this knee injury? Because again, this feels like, we talked about the Cowboys, Prescott going down the Tony Romo path. You know what? Jaden Daniels going down the RG3 path here around, playing with a bit of a knee injury that then ends up getting way worse as a result and ruins his career.
Yeah, I mean, if Mike Shanahan was the coach, Jaden Daniels wouldn't have took a game off, which is, it's a progress at least. I certainly hope not, because obviously I love watching Jaden Daniels and don't want any player to, unless it's Tyreek Hill, end the career with a knee injury. But I just don't put him back out there until he's 100%, ultimately. This isn't a do-or-die season for the Commanders. This isn't Super Bowl or bust by any means. Jaden Daniels is in year 2 of his what should be an incredibly promising career. Just don't rush it. Marcus Mariota is absolutely fine as a backup. Yeah, you play the Chargers, I believe, this week. You might lose. You might lose that with Jaden Daniels as well. So
yeah.
And if you rush Jaden Daniels out there and he destroys his knee, I think it's a fireable offense, truthfully. I think it's just negligence at the highest level. I don't think Dan Quinn is that stupid, thankfully. So I think they're just going to have to potter on until Jaden Daniels is back fit, and that's going to be some ups and some downs along the way with it.
Yeah, Terry McLaurin out as well, and that one feels like that's a weird one in terms of, obviously he's out. I think it was a quad injury, and now he's seen somebody who was he's sort of a second opinion for someone who like specializes in sports hernias and stuff like that. So that sounds like something else. So if he potentially needs surgery for a hernia, that might be obviously weeks he's missing as well. So and then it's a lot on Debo, and Luke McCaffrey got a touchdown, but I don't think he's particularly getting a lot of volume out of Luke McCaffrey.
No.
Then they're looking very, very bare. So, yeah, we'll see how the rest of that goes. So, Commanders, Falcons. Commanders 2-2. Falcons 2-2. We talked about you had the Eagles as your favourite. So, you finished 3-1, closest again to hitting our fourfold. It's coming. Can feel it once we get one. Start rattling through. I was on Jags Niners under, and it was a push 26 to whatever score I just said it was. 26 to 21. I couldn't do basic maths. So, screw you 49ers for getting a fourth quarter touchdown. ultimately didn't matter. I had the Lions -9 against the Browns. I really did like the Lions to hammer the Browns. It didn't quite turn out like that. It didn't turn out quite as like the offensive deluge of points from the Lions that I was really expecting. In fact, they were only up by 10 heading into the fourth quarter. It was a special teams play, punt return for a touchdown from Khalif Raymond that kind of just broke the Browns' resistance in the end. But yeah, solid day's work from Gibbs and Amon-Ra with 2 touchdowns, but nothing too much to kind of get crazy about for the Lions. Browns, I think you mentioned, looks like they're going to move to Dylan Gabriel. Judkins continue. It was a couple of weeks now, but he's looking really good. Might be a scumbag, but he's made to be a really good running back.
Yeah, he looks like a perfectly fine replacement for what you would want Nick Chubb to be, which is high praise indeed. He looks, instantly ready for the NFL with no training camp.
Yeah, like I said, they're in London this week, so maybe it's a bit of a freebie chucking in Dylan Gabriel. But potentially feeding into that Vikings defensive front might be not the wisest of ideas.
Yeah, I'll be looking up as soon as touchdown prices are up for Vikings defense.
Yeah, so we'll see about that one. But Detroit got 3-1, Browns 1-3. I had the over in Ravens Chiefs, and I took the Panthers, and I will stop taking Panthers as a booking underdog. +5.5. I just got lulled in a bit, I think, clear from what the performance against the Falcons. That was more the Falcons than the Panthers. Yeah. And the Patriots used as a get-right game. The Patriots absolutely beat the shit out of them. They absolutely hammered them. I think it was 42-6, wasn't it, at its highest point, and we saw Andy Dalton, which is not a good sign for Bryce. He didn't have necessarily a massive disaster of a game turning the ball over through the air, but yeah, the Patriots just killed them. Big confidence boost for the Patriots. Do you think this one? Do you think they can carry this forward? They've got the Bills this week, I think.
Well, I'll check that confidence for you. I don't really know. I think the Panthers are a bit of a fraudulent team, truthfully. I don't know. I'm just going to throw out the Falcons game.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what happened there. I can't make sense of it. It was good to see Stephon Diggs get going. 6 for 101. No touchdown, but it certainly got going this week. Got peppered with his targets. If he can hit form, I think that's all that Drake May's been missing, really, is a number one. Hunter Henry's been incredibly good since Drake May came in the lineup. But having a real number one wide receiver, and this is another team that I'm thinking maybe give the call about T. Higgins. You've got the salary cap. Why not? Certainly signs of life for New England. They're not going to win the division. Obviously, the Bills are the big daddies of it. But, is a playoff spot out there reckoning?
I don't think so. Anyone else particularly separating themselves in the AFC?
Yeah.
Patriots 2-2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Panthers 1-3. Jenny took the Eagles as a favorite. Titans as a underdog +7. I think me and Joe were on that as well. I think this is going to be the week where they're going to cover, they're going to play, and then the Texans just. Yeah, is all hope just gone in Tennessee? Because kind of any initial sort of excitement we had, it just seems to have faded away so quickly.
Yeah, it really does. Yeah. I think ultimately that's just the TLDR of it. Yeah, I don't know what is it to be excited about right now. Hopefully Cam Ward is good when he gets a better head coach. I think Callahan is dead man walking. Maybe he'll get to the end of the season, but there is nothing to be excited about with this team as they are currently constructed. So that sucks because they've just got a number one quarterback, who I don't think is the problem. It's certainly too early to say he's a problem. He's had moments in his games. He makes these beautiful across his body throws.
I think you just should stop doing that.
I think you probably should, but they look great while they hit. But everything else seems like a real struggle. That's been kind, I think, really.
Yeah.
So, Alec Ayamana, he led the team with 44 yards receiving on 7 targets, 2 receptions, really the A.J. Brown stat line. So, you can count as a positive if you'd like, but it isn't. Nothing to get excited about for the Titans. I don't see, and there's nothing coming. It's not like they've got like 2 All-Pros on injured reserve coming back. They've got Taji Spears at some point, but that's not going to save your season. Brighter notes for the Texans, who finally get a win, get a shutout, get rid of CJ, GJ, and the defense looks good again. Up against the Titans, it is to be said. But yeah, Woody Marks gets his first touchdown. Jaden Higgins gets his first touchdown. Reasons for optimism for the Texans. And then they trade Cam Robinson the next day because they still don't have the culture right on the O-line, apparently. So
yeah, and things could move in the right direction quickly for the Texans because they were 0-3. We all said they were dead. And maybe we shouldn't be saying teams are dead at week 3. But now they potentially got a game that they're going to be favored in against the Ravens.
Yep.
Playing Cooper Rush. They get to 2-3. Things all of a sudden it doesn't seem quite as far the way back, and all of a sudden you are kind of you put a run together, you're in a mix, and you still got the Jags to play twice. Have they? No, you still got the Jags to play once. You still got the Colts to play twice. You're not dead. You're not completely dead like you kind of may have thought you'd been.
Nope. And the AFC after the Bills.
Yeah,
it's a lot of teams who are either overperforming relative to our expectations or underperforming, and we're not sure they're going to bounce back. So, cool. Maybe there's a wild card spot in the AFC South.
Possibly. All right, let's move on to our ATS picks. Byron leading the way in our 4-fall draft for the season so far, 9-7-1 through 4 weeks. Thursday night football. This is another one similar, I suppose, to the Dublin game where the Seahawks were in complete control of this, and then they just let the Cardinals win. But I've got a quick question on this one. Does Marvin Harrison Jr. suck?
I don't think he sucks, but he's certainly underwhelming relative to where he was drafted. Yeah,
obviously he just stopped on a route for Kyler's first pick, and then the second one where he just pops it straight up in the air, didn't he?
I called him Marvin Harrison Jubler instead of Junior.
Yes,
because he was just like whoop whoop whoop, and then it lands in the Seahawks defender's hands.
Yeah.
Not great.
Yeah,
you could see the touchdown meant a lot to him.
Yeah,
he was clearly emotional when that went on. I don't know if they have a Kyler Murray problem or a Marvin Harrison problem or what. I think it's probably more likely they probably have a both problem.
Yeah,
and that isn't good because outside of Trey McBride, they don't really have anything else on offense. So,
but they still kind of nearly managed to turn this game around, which was wild. But Seahawks, Jess had another real solid game. And like I say, apart from just kind of that ending, they were just in full control, and it took obviously Jason Myers walk-off field goal to win it. But we were all on the Seahawks to cover.
Well, not just us three who were on the Seahawks.
Oh yes, of course. Charlie broke his streak. 0-13, no more. I admit I was dreading when I saw the video. You put the video for the face.
Yeah, I wasn't feeling good either.
He picked the Seahawks. I was like, for fuck's sake, on the same side as the goddamn dog again. But he delivered. So well done, Charlie. Like, no more slander from me. But it's going to be potentially confusing because it's usually a fade Charlie situation. So what do we do on Thursday? Now he's got to win. We'll see.
I think Mo just needs a pep talk every week.
Yeah, the pep talk worked for sure. He was very, very slow. He was giving you it back during the pep talk as well.
Yeah, he's a stubborn little fella.
Not what you want to see, but well done, Charlie, for breaking the streak. We've talked about the Island game. I was the sole person on the Steelers. Joe was the sole person on the Falcons. Me flying solo on the Saints. All on the Lions. Byron, you were just you on the Patriots. The only game we haven't talked about, so let's talk about that, is the Chargers, Giants, Jackson Dart, first win on his first NFL start.
Yeah, the New York Jacksons. Doesn't really work. And Jackson Dart, Cam Scatterboo, the story of the game. But I think, to me, what the story of the game is, Joel goes out, and Brian Burns, Kayvon Thibodeau, and Abdul Carter go, okay, it's time to eat. And they were pressuring Justin Herbert on every snap. This is what that D front should look like every week. It shouldn't need a team to be down 2 tackles to do it. But I thought they were really impressive. I don't think it showed up necessarily in the sack totals, but in the pressure totals, it will do. They were just on him. It felt like every single thing. Brian Bird had 4 quarterback hits. Thibodeau had 3 quarterback hits. Abdul Carter had 5 quarterback hits. Herbert couldn't move. Without a Giant being on top of him. Really, really impressive performance from this New York Giants defense, which I think it might have been this week where I literally said I'm sick of hearing about the talent on the Giants defense. I want to see him put it up as a performance, and bang. They obviously listened. They went out and did it. And all of this excitement, Cam Scatterbo shining 79 yards, 11 on the ground. Jackson Dart comes in and he looks like Jackson Dart immediately. First rookie since Patrick Mahomes put up an 80-yard touchdown drive on his first performance since Patrick Mahomes. Signs are good. He plays a bit like Cam Scatterbo at quarterback, is kind of how I'm going to say it. It doesn't seem to be much in his mind of risk or worry, which is great as a rookie. It's exactly what you want to see. We'll see how that plays out for him as his career goes along. But what isn't going to help his career this season, the absolutely heartbreaking scenes, Malik Neighbors torn ACL out for the season. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful talent. We all absolutely love him. And yeah, just a real shame for his season to be done now. Just as things are looking bright for the Giants, great, exciting rookie quarterback, youth movement with Scatterbo and Abdul Carter and Jackson Dart and Malik Neighbors heading that, and then that's it. That's his season done. So a real shame.
It's a shame, and hopefully he'll come back from it. They are hard to come back from those knee injuries, and OBJ, although I could choose it for the first to tweet about begging the Giants to change that turf. But bad. Like obviously, some great excitement. Bad news was the Owen Mara shared that he's cancer. So well wishes. Hopefully that comes through. That the other side of that. Neighbours, hopefully we see him back next September and terrorising defenses again. But I thought he did a good job. Dayball did a good job in terms of game scheming it pretty well, and they got him to play within himself a bit. I think he is a gunslinger type, so like they asked him just to kind of just take it, rein it in a little bit, and he did. He did well with that. So we'll see how it goes. But obviously, it's going to be a lot more difficult with him without his number one guy. So we'll see how they go on with, Wan'Dale Robinson, Johnson, Darius Slayton, and so on. Maybe they need to get some more help in. But I don't know where that'll come from at this point of the season. Giants 1-3, Chargers 3-1. And I lied. We have got one more game to talk about. But Byron, you're the only one that backed the Texans to cover. All of us on the Rams, me and you on the Jags. Just you on the Chiefs. I hate missing out on Mahomes as an underdog. It's just stupid to not bet it. All of us on the Bears. None of us none of us on the Cowboys to cover. We're all on the Packers. I had the Packers minus 16.5 as well. I bet that. It's a little silly. Just me on the Miami Dolphins. That's the other game that we haven't talked about. Tyreek Hill injured is probably the biggest story that's come out of this one. Honestly, that sounds horrific as well. He's done everything in his knee basically by the sound of it. So it's dislocation of the knee, not just the knee cap. At 31, and his style as a wide receiver, I think that could be him done.
I think so.
And it's a horrible way to end, but also turns out he's not a particularly nice human being.
No, you could tell instantly that was a really, really bad one.
Rough one. And again, kind of Miami Dolphins finally get a win, comes at a cost. But I suppose the other bit is it came out quite quickly that Aaron Glenn absolutely scolded the Jets in the locker room afterwards when they had a great fourth quarter. It says harsh, but a great fourth quarter performance. Almost managed to win that game against the Buccaneers last week, and then to just have this absolute dud of a performance against the Dolphins. We were so hopeful that the Jets were going to be. I think all three of us were pretty hopeful that the Jets were going to be better.
Yeah. I'll think myself certainly. Yeah,
it is not the case. It has been. Glenn Rips has shown has been very disappointing, and you can insert whatever adjective you want, I think, from it. The 3 turnovers, they have 13 penalties. against a team that's kind of, I think we're in a worse position than they were, where the Dolphins were at, even though they were coming off a better performance as well.
I've seen some Dolphins fans complaining on Twitter last night that they're hoping to see McDaniel fired after last night, and now they've won a game. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Which kind of tells you about the state of Miami.
I got this. This probably sums up kind of where the Jets are at the minute. I've got this post-game interview from Breece Hall in the locker room afterwards. And I need to get it on full screen first because I didn't do that. And just the first, I suppose, 10 seconds of this tells you everything you need to know about where the New York Jets are at the minute.
What did you think of the game? That's more important. Just a tale of, 3 out of our 4 losses. Teams will shoot themselves in the foot, then we come back and shoot ourselves in the head. So you can't win if, defensively, if, or offensively, if we're not, converting on third down, if we're not getting us to third and manageables,
Yeah, I'll just cut it there. But yeah, if teams are shooting themselves in the foot, we're going right back and shooting ourselves in the head.
That's an all-timer quote, to be fair.
Yeah, excellent from Breece Hall.
And I think just to sum that up, the Jets this year have had 14 fumbles. They've recovered 2 of them.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's not shooting yourself in the head, I don't know what is.
Yeah, not pretty for the Jets. They have the opportunity to for a get right game though, because they play Dallas Cowboys next. See, Breece Hall and Justin Fields and Garrett Wilson put up 40 points. Points. Excellent. So, and then we're all on the Broncos as well. So, I think me and you were 10-6 on ATS this week, Byron. So pretty good weeks. Joe's struggling ATS wise. I think he was the other way. He was 6-10. So me and you are tied 31-30-3. Joe's already 8 games behind. So
it's weird we have an identical record through 4 weeks, and as we can see here, we don't pick the same games.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we are quite separate in our picks. So there you go. Couple of bits of business. This has gone way longer than I thought it was going to be, by the way.
Yeah.
With 2 less games that we'd focused on. But we just love chatting along. Fantasy Game Day. Our Fantasy Game Day Sunday Stars winning lineup. So this is from the £3 game, as me, Joe, and Byron are entering that now to have a team each, and we are terrible. I think we come back. Well, we are. We're very close together. You were the best of the bunch, Byron, for a second week in a row. So well done. But yeah, we were pretty much 70 points away from the winner. So yeah, not great. But yeah, make sure you're playing Fantasy Game Day, the UK's premier NFL daily fantasy platform. Use promo code COVER. You'll get a free entry after your first play. Thanks to the people that have used the promo code. Appreciate you. And yeah, use to spend that £7.50 credit as you want. You've got to be 18 years or over, based in the UK, and of course, please gamble responsibly. What do you make of this winning lineup? This is from one of the New York Giants, the Giants UK and Ireland guys. I don't know which one.
Probably based in Mayo.
Yeah, well, there you go. Yeah, from that.
Or they're a Will Levis fan. Hard to tell.
One of those guys. Well, so congrats to those guys. But yeah, the CMC captain went for 52. Jackson Darts, that's unsurprisingly. Also the move I made just to get cheap quarterbacking, so very low price. Marks of the Texans. Genty went for 33.5. Chris Olave threw an interception for 9. Quentin Johnson, who got another touchdown. Puka Nacua is the beast for 36. And Tyler Warren with 18.3, who's continuing to go in really very, very well for the Indianapolis Colts so far.
Yeah, Tyler Warren looking better than Brock Bowers this season. Maybe that could have been an overreaction. We shall see. But I mean, Brock Bowers isn't fit, so let's not get too crazy. No, nice lineup. Getting Dart in there is a real smart move. You obviously picked him as your quarterback of the week at 4,500-ish. Really cheap price.
I did the same with Mariota the week before, and again, he did okay. 19s.
Mariota was really good, yeah.
Yeah, if you're getting your quarterback at that cheap, who's getting pretty much 20, and you just need your heavy hitters to hit, and mine didn't, sadly, but yeah.
So you think that at 4,200 was a better play than my Geno Smith at 7,200? Just edged him out, yeah. Yeah, and one of my good to see one of yours is in there, one of mine is in there, Olave's 9. So, they all contributed all the same, so that's good to know. I had Puka as my captain this week, so that's probably why I won our little head-to-head. But yeah, this is a real strong lineup. I think if CMC is playing, just put him as your captain. Fair enough, like Puka would have scored just more points, but like CMC has got the best floor in fantasy football right now, along with Puka. And there was drafts where you could have started with CMC and Puka, certainly in Superflex, but in one quarterback leagues as well, because CMC wasn't highly valued until like right before, because people were scared he was going to get injured. And then he got injured right before the season and people panicked again. So you realistically could have started with CMC and Puka Nacua in one quarterback drafts even. So anyone who's done that is onto a flyer, and banging them in your weekly lineup here when you can price around it with Dart and Marks. And Olave was a nice price this week, even though he obviously hasn't shined. I'm just kind of been joking with including him as my tip there. I think it's a real good line, real smart process.
Excellent, yeah. Congratulations. And we'll be back next week. You can catch our Fantasy Game Day 10 Minutes Tips as a separate episode. And it goes live at 1 p.m. on our X account, as well as a little treat for you there. We have got one
Big
more
TNF
thing to do. I'm trying to find the overlay. It's not there. I'm going to have to quickly upload it. I definitely uploaded it.
Well, it's a big TNF. I'll talk while you're trying to do that.
Thanks.
It is the Rams Seahawks. No, isn't it? It's the Rams 49ers. What am I talking about? In LA, 5.5 point favorite. Rams hosting the 49ers. Big divisional game. 49ers 3-1. Rams 3-1. Obviously, 49ers coming off that defeat to Jacksonville. I've got to wonder who is the top dog in the NFC West. It's a crucial matchup. Both looking to take control of the division. The Seahawks in play as well. Really interesting division to start the year. Over under 47. I've just waffled on about it. What is your lean for the game?
I think I've just got to leave with the Rams. I think I've just got to leave with the Rams. I can't really trust I feel like I just can't trust the Niners at the minute. I wonder if I just think kind of coming back. I know Purdy obviously came back on Sunday. I wonder if the short week's the last thing that the Niners need at the minute. Just the amount of injuries they've got. Again, you mentioned Pearsall, Jennings again. Yeah, I just feel I'm just going to take the Rams. 5.5 is a lot of points in a division game, Thursday Night Football division game, I think, but I kind of feel like I'm going to take the Rams.
I definitely am as well. One of my favourite bets I've banged on about all season. I didn't actually check the odds when I was checking the Ravens, but was the Rams to win the division at plus 200. If it's anywhere near that, I still love it because 49ers just get banged up by the week. And I totally agree. I think a short week is the last thing San Francisco want to see. And I think the Rams are really feeling themselves. I don't know if you've seen Matthew Stafford's mic'd up to end the game through that bomb to Atwell. And then he's just running down the field celebrating. And he's going, "I'm a fucking dog," which is very funny because Matthew Stafford's like our age and he's yelling like he's a 15-year-old kid who's just won his first high school game. I love it. Love Matthew Stafford. Love that energy. For a guy who's won a Super Bowl to be still into every regular season win like that is a very cool thing. And yeah, I'll be taking the Rams. I think they're a much better team than the Niners going into the season. And I think they haven't lost anyone big through injury, knock on wood, yet. And the Niners keep losing players through injury. So yeah, I'll take the Rams minus 5.5.
Excellent. That is our NFL Week 4 review in the book. So yeah, thanks for joining us. Make sure you go follow us. Good Teams and Great Teams cover. The podcast is available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Overcast. You can catch us on our socials. I can catch on YouTube for the video version as well. But at GTW_GTC for Instagram, X, TikTok, Blue Sky. It's where all our bet post goes. It's where Charlie's pick goes. You get clips. Although we were light on clips this week, but you get clips, game previews, all of that gets uploaded to there as well. So yeah, if you're not liking or subscribing or following, go do it now. And if you can,
5 stars would be good as well.
5 stars would be great. Yeah, if you can subscribe to the podcast on your platform of choice, that would be ace as well. Every little helps. And we'll see you for the NFL Week 5 preview with not one, but 2 great guests.